Let's look at the conference finals. We'll start with the Knicks. The Knicks beat the Cavs in 4 games. Knicks were down, by 22 in the fourth quarter at one point, and then a James Harden playoff team did what James Harden playoff teams tend to do in the past. They blew that lead and lost the game in overtime. If you're talking to Kenny Atkinson, the Cavs coach, he'll tell you after those 3 games that analytically, if you look at the numbers, we should be up 2-1. Yo, bro, you were down 3-0 on your way to a sweep, and you knew it. Welcome back, benchwarmers. When the NBA season started back in October, I bet you no one had the matchup in the finals that we landed on. Let's party like it's 1999. Knicks versus Spurs for the Larry O'Brien. Let's do it. All right, guys. Like I said, Knicks versus Spurs, rematch of 1999 NBA Finals. I don't think anybody expected Wemby to be here this early, but here we are. It's Wemby and the Spurs time versus Jalen Brunson and the Knicks. So, all right, now before we get started, if you're not already, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss any one of the new episodes. All right, guys, so before we get into it, I'm going to go ahead and go back and let's look at the conference finals, although one of them much better than the other, as we know. We'll start with the Knicks. The Knicks beat the Cavs in 4 games, swept them, but we all know it came back to game 1. The Knicks were down, by 22 in the fourth quarter at one point, and then a James Harden playoff team did what James Harden playoff teams tend to do in the past. They blew that lead and lost the game in overtime and essentially lost the series. They didn't recover. They never really, I'm sure they led other times in the series, but they never felt like they had a chance after blowing that 22-point lead. Now, if you're talking to Kenny Atkinson, the Cavs coach, he'll tell you after those 3 games that analytically, if you look at the numbers, we should be up 2-1. Yo, bro, you were down 3-0 on your way to a sweep, and you knew it, so sorry. And I feel bad for the Cavs because I don't know what they're going to do for next season. You're going to re-sign Harden and bring back Mitchell, obviously, and probably give him an extension and do the same thing again and possibly get even worse because I got to expect Boston's going to be better next year. So good luck to the Cavs, Jalen Brunson and the Knicks, and crazily enough, Mike Brown in his first year coaching the Knicks is taking them to the NBA Finals. So again, I don't think anybody besides Knicks fans would have picked them to get to this far, but again, they had a nice route. You had Philly get upset over the Boston Celtics, which made them in that second round. The Knicks was a lot easier to get over the Sixers, who at that point Embiid had nothing left in the tank, let's be honest. So, all right, now let's look at the Western side. Obviously, the Western Conference Finals were amazing. Game 1, double overtime, and then everything. And then the series to go 7 games back and forth. Each team won by double digits, but, each stole a game on the road early in the series. Comes down to Game 7, which was amazing again. Wemby and the Spurs, man, they're here way too early. Like I said earlier, they're not supposed to be here this early, but here they are, and man, are they making a lot of noise and making it worth their time. So we end up with Knicks and Spurs, as I said, a rematch of the 1999 finals. Now, back in 99, it was a shortened season of like 50 games, and that was David Robinson and Tim Duncan's first title with the Spurs when they beat the Knicks. Again, the Knicks were an 8 seed that year too, so weird season, but it is what it is back in 1999. So let's go ahead and look at the schedule of the series. It starts tomorrow, Wednesday, in San Antonio, which is kind of crazy, too. Not only are the Spurs there earlier, but they're hosting because they had over 60 wins. Crazy. So they get game 1 and 2 Wednesday and Friday in San Antonio. Games 3 and 4 will take place Monday, Wednesday, back in New York at the Garden, which, man, that's going to be... I've seen the prices for the tickets to get in. It's insane, so good luck to those people. Now, if we're necessary and we go more than 4, which I anticipate we will, Game 5 would be Saturday the 13th in San Antonio. Game 6 would be the 16th in New York. And Game 7 would be Friday on Juneteenth back in San Antonio. So let's hope for 7. That's what I'm looking for and hoping for because... if that Western Conference Final was any, preview of what we're expecting here, although a lot of people, as has happened in the past, even in the NFL last year, a lot of people thought that Western Conference Final was the NBA Finals and the Spurs are going to walk over the Knicks. Now, that could happen, but also the Knicks have been walking over everybody. They have the largest margin or one of the largest margins overall in the run to get here. I think they're 12-2 to get here. Like, there's no messing around. So they are here. They are for real. It should be a fun series. Oh, man, prediction-wise, I go back and forth. I keep thinking, the Spurs aren't supposed to be here, as I've mentioned multiple times. They're all, 22 years old or 23. Now, De'Aaron Fox, a little older, not veteran experience as far as, deep playoff runs, which is also kind of a little twist that Mike Brown is coaching the Knicks and De'Aaron Fox plays for the Spurs. They were both with the Kings a couple years ago. Man, what the Kings have given away the last few years. You gave away De'Aaron Fox. You gave away Tyrese Halliburton. I feel like I'm missing a third one in there somewhere, too. There's a point guard somewhere else that was there. But regardless, Kings doing Kings things. So, they didn't draft Luka and they took Bagley. That's probably the other thing I'm thinking. Oh, the Kings. So bad. Anyways, so again, back and forth between prediction of who I think is going to win the series. I think it's going to go 7 for sure, though. That's the only thing I am hoping and thinking. It's going to go 7. We're going to go the distance. I feel like Wemby's going to have a huge game in the Garden in either game 3 or 4, and that's going to be where they kind of get maybe a strike hold on it and think that they're going to walk away. But I just still think this is going to go 7. And as long as the Spurs are going to win, which I think they will, and this is the beginning of a dynasty probably to begin down in San Antonio, which if OKC does anything they need to do in the offseason, Chet Holmgren, that's a question mark, and is back in it next year, these two teams could be going at it for the next 4 or 5 years just battling for the Western Conference, which as a Laker fan, that's kind of scary, but it is what it is. So I got Spurs in 7, and as far as MVP, I think it's going to be Wemby. I don't think there's anybody else that cares as much as he does, puts as much effort in as he does. Now his team, you can tell it's coming off of him and rubbing off. They're doing pre-huddles. He's talking to the team of like, okay, we need to be ready. We need to wake up. There was that, do the dirty foul thing that he was Biyombo and Plumlee. So he brought the All-Star game back as far as people caring to play in it for. So this guy is just all about winning. And in his press conference, I think he said it's his life depends on it, is to win and keep going. So I anticipate the Spurs to do it. It is going to be weird to see the Spurs win without Pop coaching on the sideline this time. Now, I'm sure he'll be in the building if it gets down to it and they have a clinching game opportunity because of what he's meant to that, or especially if it's in San Antonio. That would be ideal with travel. But I think the Spurs are going to win it. Again, there's no real reason to go against the Knicks either. There's not necessarily a lot more experience there. They obviously went to the conference finals last year, so they've been there as a group. Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges, and Brunson have played together forever, including Villanova, where they won a title. So there's some winning pedigree stuff there, but no experience as far as finals are concerned. I think Landry Shamet was on the Suns when they played and lost to the Bucks, so there's a little bit of experience. I mean, Mike Brown coached with the Warriors during a final. He wasn't the head coach, but he's still on the staff, so there is some experience there. I don't know. I just hope it's going to be a really good series. I hope it doesn't go 5. I think that's what it did in 1999. But again, the Spurs were so much better than the Knicks back then. A Knicks team has been off for almost a week by the time they play, so they're going to be rested. Now, the Mitchell Robinson finger injury off the court, we don't know what happened, but he says he's going to play. I mean, if it's a broken pinky and you're a center who scores 4 points a game, but you block shots and get rebounds, I think you'll be fine. It's not affecting your running or your reaching up and down for rebounds and blocks. So might hurt a couple when you hit it and get the block or rebound, but if you want to win a title and get a ring, man, this is the time to, fight through it all. So as we know, especially in hockey, you got to play through anything and everything. So I don't want to hear anything. This is your NBA Finals opportunity. If you can run and get up and down the court, then I don't think you should be sitting on the bench. So, all right, let us know in the comments below who you got winning the NBA Finals this year. Is it Knicks or Spurs? Also hit us up on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at RVUFTB. And tell me where LeBron's going or what he's doing this summer. I know that's the biggest question mark. Once this finals is over in a week and a half, that's all we're going to be talking about is the draft and the moves that teams could be making between now and the draft and free agency starting on July 1st. What is LeBron going to do? Because that's a big domino. So if you know or you think you got an idea, or if you're the guy who works at a bakery in Cleveland who had some inside info and called an ESPN station last week, I'd be happy to hear your thoughts. Let me know. Otherwise, let's hope for a good series. And until next time, Benchwarmers, stay ready. This was a Sycamore Fourth Studios production.